I love the hustle, man.
Right.
But JaVale McGee, I believe, just got released from, was it Dallas? I believe he was at Dallas.
He did.
Got released from Dallas, and now the Sacramento Kings have picked him up, man. Let me check really quickly.
Okay.
Because I want to get this contract correct.
Right.
So yeah, free agent center JaVale McGee will sign with the Sacramento Kings. This was, from NBA on TNT, Bleacher Report. They reported it. The Athletic, the Stadium, everybody's reporting it. So he is now a Sacramento King. I'm looking for the contract information. I cannot find it right now.
I want to say it might be a 2-year.
It's a 1-year deal for sure. I know that.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Your boy Chris Haynes, look like he was on that.
Yeah, shouts out to my dog Chris Haynes.
Yeah, he's in your basketball league. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's not, man.
So yeah, we the Kings have signed him to a 1-year deal. I cannot find the numbers. I do apologize for that for everybody listening. But yeah, so this was actually one of the guys that we had talked about, you and I and Dope Boy, early in free agency. I think before free agency, we were talking about, because we were thinking, I don't know why we thought he was a free agent, but he wasn't. It kind of seemed like he always is. Like he's always in the free agent market, but he wasn't. He was still signed with the Mavericks, but for some reason, again, they released him. We picked him up. I feel like he fits great here. I agree. He can run the floor. He can rebound. Tall, slender guy, block shots. And I feel like that's what Mike Brown is really looking for with the Nerlens Noel pickup, with the JaVale McGee pickup. We're looking for guys to really play that defensive center position. I have some thoughts on it. Let me know what you think about this acquisition for the Kings.
So you know what? I actually like it.
I love it.
You know
I love it.
You know what? That was one of the things that we was lacking, and it showed in the playoffs. Although us seeing the games, we watched out of 82 probably games. I know you and I probably watched at least 62, 62 to 70 games.
Oh, yeah.
So we knew early on in the season, one of the things that they lacked was a big man, right? So the JaVale McGee signing was good. But I will say this though, right? So now we do. So now we have what? We know that Trey Lyles would be that backup center. We know that, right?
Backup 4.
That's kind of, the 4 or 5 somewhere around there. Go ahead and
finish, because that's kind of what I wanted to get into. But go ahead and finish.
Yeah. I would say somewhere around that 4 or 5, but I would say he would be coming in mostly for the Sabonis. I would think. So my thing, who if I ask you, who you think will come in battling for that third center position?
I'm gonna be honest. Well, we still have Lynn. We still got Alex Lynn, right?
So then that's where you get into, okay, now do you go JaVale?
Here's my thing, right?
I'm
so glad you just brought that up, because this is kind of what I wanted to touch on. The starting 5. I think this might shift. I don't know. Maybe not. Because here's my thing, right? Here's what I was thinking. If you can have somebody else start at that 5 position other than Sabonis, and he can kind of play his natural 4 position, because I don't really think Sabonis is a natural 5. I think he's more of a power forward, right?
You've been consistently saying that.
I've been saying that for a while, and I said that last season. And if you think back to when he was in Indiana, he played alongside Miles Turner, right? So I wonder if that's one of the things that he maybe talked about with his agent, maybe kind of, he kind of relayed that to the front office, or maybe he himself related to the front office, like, hey, like, I kind of want to go back to, playing that 4 spot. Could you guys get somebody to go alongside of me to play the 5? Because I'm looking at it between JaVale McGee and Nerlens Noel. Shouldn't one of those guys start? Because I'm looking at it like, why would you have both of those guys off of your bench as centers? One of them's not going to get the tick, right? So the way I'm looking at it is, maybe I like McGee, Sabonis, right? Keegan, Herter, Fox. I kind of like that, because now, and then the reason I like Sabonis is because, the reason I like McGee starting is because, again, defensive presence, right? He can guard the 5s, shot blocker, again, taller than Sabonis. He's a true center, right? True defensive center. But he can also he's also a rim runner. You can run a pick and roll with him if you're De'Aaron Fox. Throw him oops. He's gonna go up and get it. You know what I mean? I kind of like it. Now I'm probably jumping the gun. I know I'm probably wrong, but I wouldn't be mad at that starting lineup. We would get bigger, right? We would get a little bigger because you would, like I said, you would have McGee and Sabonis in the front court rather than Sabonis, and then you're kind of going small at your 4 with like the Harrison or the Keegan. Right. You're kind of going a little smaller, right? Now we can come in with that same starting 5 we did last year, and I think we'll have a lot of success with that lineup. But I feel like it would kind of be redundant to have McGee and Nerlens Noel both off of your bench without one of the 2 starting. What are your thoughts on that?
And you know what? You still have Kata in there too, so don't forget about Kata. They just re-signed Kata for you know what I mean, a year or whatever.
So so if you have, and I don't know if he's going to be on the varsity team. I always call it the varsity versus junior varsity. You know what I'm saying? And I consider junior varsity the Stockton Kings and varsity the Kings. So I don't know if he's going to be with the big boys with the squad this year. But if he is, that means you would have 4 centers on the bench: Lynn, Kata, McGee, and Nerlens. Like, so
one thing that we do know,
we know Lyles, like that's
one thing we do know is that we know they won't do that. So we know
they won't do that.
4 centers on the roster. It will
not be 4 centers, right? So Kata's probably still going to be in Stockton on the 2-way, possibly. But then going back to your Lyles point, I feel like, and here's my second part to what I was saying about my starting 5, my idea for the starting 5. I like, then you can go with like a Noel and Lyles for McGee and Sabonis. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
You kind of see where I'm going, and then you can kind of plug in. All right, now we're gonna put Harrison in for Keegan, throw Monk in there for Herter. You know what I mean? I kind of like I like that. I don't know. And again, it probably won't go like that, but in my mind, I love how that looks on paper and just like when I'm thinking about it, logistically and on the court and just substitutions and how I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Still got Sasha. You know, forgot about Sasha. He just had his press conference the other day. You know, he seems like he's excited to be here. Looks like he's going to wear number 7, I believe.
Right.
But yeah, so what do you? I mean, just talk about what I just said. Starting lineup, subs. What do you think about that?
So I will say this, right? I will say this. You know what? For me, I wouldn't be upset, and I'm not. I'm not delirious to what you are saying. In hindsight, that would be nice to have JaVale McGee do start. You know what I mean? But for me, I don't trust, and this is no disrespect to, JaVale McGee. I don't trust JaVale McGee playing 15 minutes a game. And no more than that, actually, if you be honest. You know what I mean? If I can get somewhere between 7 to maybe 11 minutes a game,
that's all you want from him?
JaVale McGee.
Okay.
I don't need enough,
Okay.
I believe Alex Lynn, and you know what? Shouts out to James Ham too from the Kings Insider. I was listening to him on D-Lo and KC today, and he was talking about Alex Lynn too. And one of the things last year Alex Lynn was dealing with, a lot of people don't really understand, was his country with the Ukrainian, with the war going on, with that mid-season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the season.
Yeah.
And he showed up professional all the time. But it's going to come down to me. I think it's going to come down to that JaVale, that Alex Lynn. One thing about Alex Lynn was durable. He was healthy. He was, he was called upon. He showed up. So, I mean, I think that JaVale McGee brings definitely a lot more athleticism than Alex Lynn.
Alex Lynn, right.
Go ahead.
So how do you think the starting lineup's going to look? Give me your 5. Same thing? Same lineup that we had last year, pretty much?
It'll be very similar. It will be very similar to what it was
You don't think that's a little redundant to have those 3 centers off the bench, though? Because here's the way I'm looking at it. I feel like one of them is going to get more tick than the other. And I'm talking about either JaVale or Nerlens. Who knows? JaVale could just be there if somebody gets hurt, backup, locker room guy, veteran. Maybe that's why we brought him here. But I guess I'm kind of looking, maybe I'm holding his value a little higher than normal. But he did start along LeBron James and Anthony Davis in LA that helped them win a ring. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely.
And Anthony Davis kind of, I don't want to say similar games to Sabonis, but similar role for his team. respective to the Kings. So as far as Sabonis, Davis, him playing the 4, instead of playing the 5, having JaVale fill that 5 spot. So that's kind of where my mind was going. I just don't really like JaVale, Lynn, Nerlens all off the bench. I feel like one of those guys should be in the starting 5. I just feel like that just makes your bench a little redundant. And all those guys aren't going to get the minutes and one of those spots. I don't know. Maybe it's for maybe just for just insurance purposes in case somebody gets hurt or something like that. But
absolutely,
I don't know.